We're just a day in, and all that news comes out yesterday for the Cleveland Browns. One day at the Greenbrier. And I think about that viral clip. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Can't say the other word, but I guess I could. We can do whatever we want, but we'll try to class the joint up here a little bit. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. You got some good news yesterday out of the Browns. You got some bad news from the Browns yesterday as they kick off their training camp down there at the Greenbrier. The question finally answered from Kevin Stefanski. He didn't even let anybody ask it. He just said, Tony, I'm going to tell you, I'm calling plays. The right decision was made there. Updates on the injury front, which you don't want to hear. And, of course, Amari Cooper in attendance. But I thought Coop said some very interesting things yesterday when it came to his contract, the added guarantee money for this year, but an uncertain future for the Browns' number one wide receiver. But you kicked it off in the right way. I loved Reflux tweet this morning. Everybody just goes, where's my grainy practice footage? Can I watch something from 300 yards away, trying to zoom in on out routes from Elijah Moore and seeing the zip on the pass from Deshaun Watson? That's why we love it, man. That's why we love training camp. We're gearing up. We're ready to go. They're back on the practice field today, and we got a lot of news from the Cleveland Browns yesterday that we got to tiptoe through. We'll get to that coming up.
You okay?
Why?
Guardians, I think?
Why, man? It was a bullpen day. All you had to do was get that guy out of there quicker and follow their plans. The Tigers didn't want to win that game yesterday. And you choke it out with a 4-hit game. Right, they've been shut out like 5 times in the last couple of weeks. The hell is going on? Oh, by the way, now you got to go play the Phillies. Trades are happening. The lid has now been lifted on the MLB trade deadline, and I got a nugget for you this morning. They went around David Schoenfield, Bradford Doolittle, Ryan's favorite guy in the industry. They went through the deals they want to see happen. And oh boy, is there a big one for the Guardians from David Schoenfield. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. We'll get back to the bracket today for your favorite heist movie. I got to retweet that. We'll get to the grid this morning. We got a jam-packed time up as we always do. And a lot to get to on a beautiful Friday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Appreciate you joining us on a Friday. You can follow us on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show, pushing towards 1,000 over there on the Twitter side of things. You can always subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're up on Twitch and Instagram for all the stories, the clips that you need there. Beautiful Friday today, and it was great yesterday. Hear from Kevin Stefanski. I don't like the news on the injuries. You know, that was one. You got the NFI list, non-football injury list. You got the PUP list the other day. Two biggest ones, Dalvin Tomlinson and Greg Newsome. So you start with Newsome. Hamstring surgery. I don't like that. And I know listen, I don't know what happened. I'm sure they'll tell you it's minor. They hope he's back for week 1. The thing that I grab onto with that, Ryan, what has been kind of an important, I don't say epidemic, but something that's been impacting football over the last couple of years. Some people report on it. It's not like it's breaking news or anything. These amount of hamstring injuries, right? Where you have some big players, like Christian Watson's probably the biggest one. He just gets a hamstring injury over and over and over again. And I'll tell you this, I just noticed when we were out in Berea, and I don't know if they did this, they might have done it the other day. They have a machine that they put all the players on. And sometimes they would do it at the end of mini camp, and then they do it at the start of training camp. And it's this weird machine, right? You put it on the ground, you kneel down, and they strap your ankles in. And then you lean forward with only your hamstrings holding. And there's something about that machine that tells you about your hamstrings. And that is, you know, analysis, the biometric stuff that they're able to plug in and try to avoid guys getting these hamstring injuries. My whole point is it has become something that is very important. I know concussions will always be on the forefront for the NFL, but they've got this hamstring thing now that they've been dealing with, teams are dealing with, and they're trying to find so many ways to avoid these hamstrings. What happened to the Lions this morning? They're done. Their kicker's done. Michael Badgley tore his hamstring yesterday, warming up for practice. We do have Cade York, by the way, and they might come calling for Cade York. But I'm just saying, like, this hamstring stuff. So when I hear that about Greg Newsome having hamstring surgery, that's concerning. Now, the good news is you still have corners and you have depth there, and you feel good about that. But that's one, like Dalvin Tomlinson getting his knee scoped. He's a veteran kind of guy. Maybe something they didn't want him to try to play through. Joe Bitonio tried to play without getting his knee scoped last year. Eventually had to get it done. And this now opens what? Time for Michael Hall. Throw him out in there. Let him get all these good training camp reps. So I'm not so worried about Dalvin Tomlinson. Ryan, I'm pretty concerned about Greg Newsome. And it could be a minor surgery. You know, the old saying is there's no such thing as minor surgery. But especially when it's on something like a hamstring, in a position that you got to run, man.
Yeah.
You can't run as a corner. You're done. Like, I'm hoping for the best. Stefanski said he hopes for week 1. But I thought, outside, we're going to talk a lot about Amari's deal, and we'll certainly talk about Kevin Stefanski calling plays. Ryan, I thought that was the biggest news yesterday, that Greg Newsome's going to, sounds like, miss most of training camp after hamstring surgery.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. I don't know if we'll ever find out what happened.
These guys, they train and they do
work
their
out
thing,
by themselves.
certainly.
I get it, and that puts them on the non-injury or non-football list. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, at least it's you never want to see anybody get injured. But I know we'd much. This sounds
There's
so
worse
bad.
positions that
I meant if I had to pick out of the 3 guys, I'm glad it didn't happen to Denzel, or I'm glad it didn't happen to MJ.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, you got Cam Mitchell for a reason. We'll see what he gives us, and if anything, like, just look at it that way. We're able to see now a little bit earlier what we can get out of a guy like Cam Mitchell.
And that's a nice guy that is veteran enough now. He's played enough. It's not like training camp.
And that's
Nobody
why
wants to admit.
Justin Hardy, or not Justin Hardy.
Well, Justin Hardy is here, but not
right.
him.
Who am I thinking of? What's his name?
I don't know. I couldn't remember his name either.
No, I have to remember his name. That's so disrespectful.
Do not put Zach Zinter back there. That would probably not be a bad idea. Has anybody thought of that? If you just got a corner that was 270 pounds and just manhandled the guy at the line?
Don't tell me his name. I'm going to leave it up to me to remember it.
I'm looking at it.
Don't tell me it. But we can continue the talk. But
Oh, you don't want to focus in on this? I want to focus on this. I want to watch you squirm over there. Do you want a hint?
No.
Okay.
I think he's literally the one dude I couldn't name out of that draft class right now.
Well, yeah, so your boy out of Cincinnati, Briggs. Nathaniel Watson's the linebacker.
Obviously.
Thrash, Zinter, and Hall.
Goodness.
I couldn't think of his name either. So that's
What's his first name?
Okay, his first name is also the same name as another important defensive player for the Cleveland Browns.
Miles Harden.
That is correct.
That's why I said
Now
Harden.
we can move on with the show. Or we can just go home. You got it. Let's go. All right, bye. See you later. Have a good day. Enjoy your Friday. Good job. Miles Harden is
And that's
here.
why you draft a DB every year. Because
Dude, I'm with you 1,000%. I'm drafting a DB and an offensive lineman every single year. Every single year that I have a draft, I'm drafting a defensive back and an offensive lineman. You want to give me a quarterback here as a developmental guy every year? I'm with you 100%. You draft me a DB, you draft me a lineman every single year. So we'll see on Newsome. And again, there's other guys to step up in that rotation, which is great. Now, some people might say the biggest news yesterday was Kevin Stefanski starting his press conference with the announcement that he is going to call plays for the Cleveland Browns. And I think this gets into all this, like, people get hung up on it, but then I stop and I say it's still a very important thing. I won't downplay how some people feel about the play calling. It is vitally important to have a really good play caller, and that is what gets coaches paid, right? That's what gets coordinators head coaching jobs. For Kevin Stefanski, I think he's done a fantastic job doing it. I didn't want him to give it up, and he didn't. But it's something that people just get so laser focused on because they wanted to further their narrative on Kevin Stefanski. Either you're an anti-Stefanski person and you want to bring up how bad he is at play calling or his stupid decisions here and there, or you're people more like me. I think Kevin Stefanski's really good at what he does, and he deserves to continue doing that. With that being said, let's hear from Coach yesterday as he makes the announcement before anybody can even ask him a question. And I love him playing with Tony Grossi here a little bit. Here's Coach announcing yesterday, audio courtesy of the Cleveland Browns. Here's Coach making the announcement. I'm calling the plays.
Tony, you can tell everybody I'm going to call the plays this year, so I want to get that out of the way. I know everybody's interested.
Wow.
And any decision I make for our football team, I take a lot of information in. I try to listen to a lot of people and make decisions. And ultimately, what I feel really, really confident in is our offensive staff. I feel really strongly about Coach Dorsey. and the entire offensive staff. So we'll continue to be an operation that works together. It's never been a one-man show, so.
There it is. Kevin Stefanski yesterday on the decision to call plays. Now, following that up, when did he decide this? Because as Ken Dorsey got here early in the offseason, you went through minicamp, you saw these other people doing it. Here's Coach Stefanski on when he actually decided that he's going to call plays.
I take my time on decisions. I talk to a lot of people, and decisions that I think are important to the team. I take my time and I talk to people. I gather information. But I want to reiterate, I feel really, really strongly about our entire offensive staff. Ken Dorsey is going to be a huge, huge help to me, not just on game day, throughout the week. He has a huge influence on what we do offensively already, the things that we're implementing, things that he's putting together, the way he works with our offensive staff. So those are things I don't take it lightly.
There it is. Kevin Stefanski. I'm sure that was a really hard decision. Kevin Stefanski made the right decision by saying he's going to call plays. And let me tell you why. Ryan, would you say that Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach?
I think two-time head coach.
You can go look at his trophy case. I would say that as well. What is one of the most powerful things? So if we start with that being a fact, and again, people can try to debate us on that. You go look at the trophy case, and I don't think it's undeniable that he is a good coach. What is one of the most powerful things about him being a good coach? His play calling. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. If he's a good coach and he is also the play caller, he is then therefore a good play caller. I don't know how else to lay it out for you. People that want to drive the narrative that he shouldn't call plays, number one, because they don't like his play calling. Well, okay, it's not Madden. I know all of us get sit there and play NCAA football and you call four verts and an under and it completes every time, right? But you also get upset with his decisions on fourth down or when he decides to go for it. And I'm here and I've said this and I want this on our team t-shirt as well. On our shirt that we make for the show. Number one, if you don't have a quarterback, you're pissing into the wind. Number two, they're going to go for it on fourth down. Please accept that. There's nothing you can do about sending a tweet or watching on Sundays, and it might make you crawl up the wall. They are going to be aggressive and go for it on fourth down. Stop trying to use that as a reflection on Kevin Stefanski's play calling. Now, the play itself, if it's poorly run or the defense just snuffs it out, I'll have that conversation with you. But stop with the actual decision of going for it. That is what today's NFL is all about. The analytics tell you to be aggressive, and it usually works out in your favor. It's not 100%. It's like the shift in the NBA. What does everybody do in the NBA now, Ryan? Shoot threes. Shoot threes, because that tells you, even if you miss a few of them, it's going to get made up on the back end. You're better off shooting those shots than trying to get down low and get your twos, right? Same thing with going for it on fourth down. Erase that for a second. Set that aside. Don't use that as something, well, if he wasn't calling plays, he could be more focused on when to go for it. Not. They're going to go for it. So we just stop that conversation right there. The other people that would like to try to drive the narrative, Stefanski shouldn't be calling plays so he can better manage the team and be a CEO of the team. Has there been a glaring example over the last 4 years of him not paying attention to the game? Of him not challenging? Because that's another thing. Oh, if he was watching, he'd know where to challenge. They have people in the booth whose job it is to radio down and say, yeah, we need to throw the flag on this one. Challenge that. That again, I think, and how many games do you actually get a challenge in? It's so minute. I got a tweet, and I want to be respectful about it. Oh, he could work the refs more. Okay? You know, yelling at the side judge is an element of the game. Working the refs and the umps are always a part of the game. I will sacrifice that for the right guy calling plays. So as it all lines up, and I do try to see the other side of it, I can't come up with any tangible reasons why Kevin Stefanski should not be the play caller for the Cleveland Browns. He has deserved that role. I frankly think he has excelled in that role. and you go through all the quarterbacks that they had to go through last year, flipping the playbook in 2 days. 2 days notice to have to get ready for DTR. 2 days notice when we're putting Flacco into the game. All of that needs to be, you need to remember that when you talk about him calling the plays. And he's a good coach. He is a 2-time coach of the year. And it also, I don't see this as something that he doesn't have his team motivated. I don't see this as somebody that the team doesn't respect him. Like, every little box that you would want for a coach is checked off from Kevin Stefanski. Seriously. And that's why I don't understand people that have this axe to grind with him.
Should that be our question today?
Yeah, go ahead. You got a problem with it. You got a problem with it. And I know there will be votes on the, do you have a problem with it? Is, the answer would be yes. That'd be anti-Stefanski people. There will be votes. And he's the head coach. He's a lightning rod, and you're never going to find 100%. You're never going to find. I find people that detract from Myles Garrett. It's a small group, and that group is also wrong, but there's always going to be haters out there. I don't understand how you can look at what he has done thus far while calling the plays the whole time and say he should have given it up. And the reflection that is on Ken Dorsey, I would imagine they told him, like, hey, we want to see, we are open to this. But let's not forget that the default was Stefanski calling plays. I know Coach said there, I'm going to listen to all this information. I'm going to take my time on these. But don't forget, the default was always going to be that Stefanski was calling the plays. So you needed something to move you off of that. You needed something to sway you the other way, because it was always going to lean towards Stefanski keeping that job. So obviously nothing of that sort went. Now, it'll get into the conversation of, and we've debated this, what's harder to do? Take it away from Dorsey or take it away from Stefanski? And I've actually always said, I think it's easier to take it away from Stefanski, because imagine they went with Dorsey to start the season and it goes bad. Once you take that away from him, that gets bad. Like, then he's a lame duck OC and all that. Stefanski, if it goes bad, then you just make the announcement, you know what, I think this is what's best. We're flipping over to Ken Dorsey. And Kevin Stefanski can sit back and say, yeah, I'm paid up and I got 2 times coach of the year. I'm doing just fine. So at least that is still set up as a potential. Now, could we get there? I don't know. I certainly hope not. And the development of Deshaun Watson is another big part of this. Stefanski spoke about that a little bit later when he was talking about Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey's job as basically the pseudo quarterback coach, and I know they have one, but that is what Ken Dorsey's main operative is. This is Deshaun Watson. We need to get him back to form. Focus on that. And then people, oh, what does an OC do? We've had 4 years of a non-play calling OC. He's going to do the same thing Alex Van Pelt did. And it's important. I'm not downplaying what Ken Dorsey's going to do. Help put the game plan together, help scout, and be laser uber focused on what Deshaun Watson is doing. That's an extremely important role. But I need my best play caller in this season that means so much. A guy that has called plays for Deshaun before, has called plays with this offense. I'm excited to see the new wrinkles that Dorsey and Tommy Rees and everybody else is going to try to give to Stefanski. That's the other thing, too. I obviously hold Kevin Stefanski in high regard. I think he's a damn good coach, and I'm happy that he's with my team. But I think of it like, I don't go back to comic books. You know what Brainiac is?
Yes.
He's a Superman villain.
Speaking, hold.
What?
No.
What?
Finish your thought.
What?
I don't want to finish your thought.
San Diego Comic-Con's going on.
Did you see that drone show?
No.
They did a drone show revealing Galactus for Fantastic Four.
Ah!
Oh my God, it was
No, I missed that.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I saw the Deadpool Wolverine screening thing.
No, they did like a. I don't even know how they do that with drones, but they
Isn't that crazy how they? And that's not the only drone in the news. You see that Canadian soccer coach?
Yeah,
got thrown out.
But it was incredible.
No, the drone stuff is insane. It's nuts. I imagine a Brainiac, and for those that don't know, he's like this super uber super villain, and he's got all these like pipes coming out of his head in some incarnations. And I picture that as Kevin Stefanski, and I picture those pipes just being information getting sent from Ken Dorsey and Tommy Rees and Chad O'Shea, like all of this information, just pipe it to Kevin Stefanski, and he will be the brain of the operation. More information is never a bad thing. Send him as much as you can about this motion or this play set or how this scheme is going to look, and I trust him to be the brainiac and make the right calls, filter through it, and get the right set for this offense. That's what I want. And I think when you get too many cooks in the kitchen, which is something the Browns, one of the best things they did, man, they thinned that on out. And whether or not you like Paul DePodesta, whatever you think of AB and Kevin Stefanski, those are your three. It's no more of this bitching about this OC wants this power or this job and that. There are three people, and I'm giving credit to the Haslams and J.W. Johnson, who are the most powerful people. They step aside and say, these are the people running our team. These are the people that are going to make the decisions for our team. You get too many cooks in the kitchen, you get too many problems. Kevin Stefanski, you feed him all that. I always laugh like it's what sometimes you hear from a CEO. Alec Baldwin said that in The Departed. He goes, send me all ideas that I can pass off as my own. That's kind of what it is. Send everything to Kevin Stefanski and let him figure it out from there. Yeah. Now I just picture Stefanski as Brainiac.
It was like people that like Kevin Stefanski, detractors of him calling plays. You mentioned one, you either just think he's a bad play caller, which isn't true, or the other one is you want him to be able to be more laser focused on game management, which is fine. That's an understandable reason, but at the same time, I think we both know he can overcome that. But It's almost like you mentioned, it's more important of, well, let's let Kevin Stefanski retain play calling, and let's just make sure vice versa that Ken Dorsey is just uber focused on everything related to Deshaun Watson, more than calling plays. I almost think that's way more important.
And that helps Kevin Stefanski have to, I mean, I know he's in the quarterback room and he's heavily influenced there, but that allows him to then free up and do some other stuff to help the team out. I've got no problem with it. Our Twitter question is up at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Do you have a problem with him calling plays? And again, I think there's always going to be the negative. There's always going to be the people that are just anti-Stefanski crew and all that. But I'm interested to see. Do you like that Kevin? So you put it this way. Do you like that Kevin Stefanski is retaining play calling? So I'm going to vote yes. I'm voting yes on this for sure. I don't think you have a problem with it, right?
Oh, no, I'm 100% yes.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. So that's where we stand. That was the biggest news yesterday. A couple of the things from Stefanski I think that is noteworthy. Number one, talking about Deshaun Watson. So the question was asked, and we're super early, and you know Coach, he's going to tiptoe around this and not give you much, but will Watson play in any preseason games? So you get 3 this year. You've got the joint practices. Kevin Stefanski yesterday, courtesy of the Browns. Do you think Deshaun Watson's going to play in any preseason games?
See, I mean, that's certainly something that I will talk to our staff about, talk to Deshaun about that. We'll make that decision when appropriate. I've thought about it, Tony, but I don't have an answer right now.
I've got an answer. He better. He better. And I know this season all starts with Dallas. You need him out there for a preseason game. And you need him out there with the starting offensive line. You're going to need him out there with Amari Cooper. The thing about Watson that I might be watching more than anything early, and I've talked about this, before. The accuracy is one thing, the play calling another. I didn't like some of the pocket presence that I saw from Deshaun Watson. And I think everybody knows out there what pocket presence is. When you drop back to feel that the pressure's coming from the right, the pressure's coming up the middle, I better get out of here because they're coming from the right. How many times, and there was some insane stats from Warren Sharp last year about Deshaun Watson evading clean pockets, leaving a clean pocket because he felt something that wasn't there. You hear ghosts sometimes. They're seeing ghosts. And was that Baker? Mm-hmm. There was a quarterback, they go, he's seeing ghosts out there. And that was more in the secondary where he thought the safety was somewhere that it wasn't, and that can lead to interceptions and mistakes. As it can be when you start leaving clean pockets and evading pressure that's not there. That plays into the hand of the defense. I need him in there to feel legitimate pass rush. And I know he can get a little semblance of that in regular practice, but not a lot because he knows he's not getting hit. You will get some of that in the joint practices, but the understanding is you do not touch the other team's quarterbacks. I need him in there for a preseason series or two. More about feeling the pressure. More about getting that element back. And then I think we unlock the rest of the things that we're concerned about when it comes to Deshaun Watson. It's a means to an end. You start with that. I can't be worried about his accuracy or deep ball throws if he can't even start getting out of the pocket or staying in the pocket when he needs to. And the worry about what? Getting hit. Because the last couple times he got hit, it led to injury. And it wasn't even, I mean, the running ones, yes, that's when he got hurt. But who was it? They were talking about, God, there was just an OC. It might have been even Lamar. And they were talking, oh, no, I'm sorry. It was Anthony Richardson. And I'm going to screw the quote up, and it might have been Steichen, I can't remember. And they were like, are you going to stop Anthony Richardson from running? And they were like, well, would you stop Steph Curry from shooting threes? Like, that's what they do. That is what the best is. Why would you stop a player from doing the best thing that they can? Now, Watson running is like any quarterback. You worry about the injury, and he's good at it, but I need him to stay in the pocket. I need him to get that presence back to make the throws when he knows he's going to get smushed. And that is where I think a preseason game is going to become vitally important. And I'll put this down right now, and I don't think Coach wants to make any announcement now. You never know how it goes. He better play. He better play in a preseason game, and I think he will at some point. Here's how I think it's going to go, and it's how it's been. Game 1, nothing, right? Backups, Jameis Winston, fine. Game 2, you put your work in the joint practices, and that's that little carrot to dangle over the starters to go, you get your work in the 2 days of practice against the Eagles, you don't got to play in that game, and then game 3, you will throw them out there for a series or two, they get that weekend off, and now you're into the regular season. That's how I imagine it's going to go, but that was one thing when I heard yesterday, Deshaun Watson's got to play in a preseason game, and I think he will. Final thing from Kevin Stefanski, and a great question asked, about DeJuan Jones. So we know the offensive line in a little flux right now just because Jed Wills is not out there, Conklin not practicing, right? These guys are all on the PUP list in NFI, but they're still like the active list, so they can just come off when they pass their physicals. But you got James Hudson out there, DeJuan Jones. Question was asked, are you ready to rule out a move from DeJuan Jones from right tackle to left tackle? There's Kevin Stefanski, courtesy of the Browns yesterday.
I wouldn't rule out anything at this point. It's in camp. And you can't look too far into day one. We'll move guys around. So in football, as you know, you have to be ready to adjust, especially with that position, and guys have to be able to play both sides. So we'll see how it goes.
Standard coach answer. Here's my answer. He's not leaving right tackle. Here's your prime opportunity to get him some reps at left tackle. He's staying at right tackle. And I'm fine with that. And if you need to bench him, I'm not sorry, bench him, but he's like not going to start, you're going to go with Conklin, and this maybe is a redshirt year to move him over. I'm fine as a young player letting him settle into that one spot. And I know people get wrapped up in, if you're a good offensive lineman, you eventually go to left. I remember when you had to put Joel Bitonio out there because he was basically your best offensive lineman. You had nobody else. We're in that model in the NFL where you need that left tackle and you just assume that's your best guy in the offensive line. The more that I think about it, I agree left tackle is vitally important. That I think DeJuan Jones is just a right tackle. Don't mess with that. Just leave him there. And find left tackle with either Jed Wills or doing something else. There's nothing wrong with just saying DeJuan Jones is going to be a really good right tackle. And I frankly think his body type is more ready to be a right tackle. I know he is a hulking man. Did you see that video of him breaking down the huddle yesterday? No. He walks past Wyatt Teller. And Wyatt is a large man. Dude, he dwarfs him.
I'm sure he does.
Dwarfs him as he walks up to break the huddle down. Just keep him at right tackle. Keep him there. Don't mess with it. And I get that there's future implications about what you're going to do with the line next year and all that. Just keep him there. We'll deal with left tackle at another point. I'm fine keeping him there, but a good job for Coach, not letting anything kind of sneak out. That's pretty much it from Stefanski. We're going to hear from Mari Cooper here in a second from that. The play calling thing, another thing I want to bring up on that. I like that they just got this out of the way now because the one thing about this Browns training camp, you've got no distractions. We talked about, of the 22 starters, I think about 20 of them are pretty set in stone. Yes, we know Watson's got to play better, but Amari Cooper is here. Kevin Stefanski calling plays. You don't have some quarterback competition. All of that is distractions to getting your work in and getting it done. Axe all of that. And that's one of my favorite things about this camp. You can solely focus on getting your work in. It's not about splitting reps. We had to hear from Mike Tomlin about Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. What did he say? Oh, the reps. God, he had a word. It was like they'll be carefully split, I think is what he said about Fields and Wilson. You don't got to deal with that crap because you know in essence what it is. It's a distraction.
I feel like we're 22 for 22.
I can't. Maybe some linebackers.
I don't know.
But even then, I'm with you. I think you know your linebackers.
Yeah, it's Jock and Hicks.
And you rotate a little Devin Bush in.
Yeah.
That's it. Corners, just because of Newsom being injured, you know that. There's no safety debate. There's no edge rusher debate. You'll slide in Mike Hall with Tomlinson being out. You do have some questions on the offensive line, but you know the guys. No receivers. You know your backs. By the way, Jerome Ford, personal matter, so he'll be there soon. And you know your quarterback. Tight end's good. That's it. So the fact that you're eliminating these distractions and you can solely focus on what it's, and what I mean is you're not going into a period. So for those that don't know, when they look at an NFL practice, they have what's called periods. And let's say the practice is divided up into 12 periods. Period 1 is stretching. Period 2 is individual work. Period 3 is quarterbacks and receivers. Period 4 is inside run. You don't have to enter the 7-on-7 portion and going, all right, Dorsey, you're going to call 5 plays, and then I'm going to call 5 plays. You don't have to go, okay, well, Watson's going to do this, and then you're just off to the work. You don't have to divide this crap up. You don't have to sit there and worry about it. Spend time on it. You can focus on what's going on the field. It's a distractionless training camp. Doesn't always mean success, but Ryan, we've all been through some very distraction-filled training camps, and I'll always take it this way. One of the distractions avoided is Amari Cooper. He's here. You know me, man. You know how I do it. So many nuggets from him. So many interesting things from Amari Cooper yesterday. So he shows up, and I want to start by saying I appreciate him. Because he could have made this a big old crap storm. And he could have held out for more guaranteed years. And we'll hear from Amari right now about the importance of getting here. But it's an interesting dynamic that's going on here. Where he took the guaranteed money. And the other thing you got to remember too. If he hadn't signed this new deal and showed up in camp and torn something, Browns could have walked away.
Yep.
So now he gets the guaranteed money, and he can maybe get back after it for free agency or an extension with the Browns. I don't know how you don't show up a little pissed off. And I said that when I was shocked that he signed the deal that he did. Because I think the Browns won. I think that was a huge win for the Cleveland Browns. So if they won, I think Amari Cooper lost. And how you show up to be focused, and I'm just going to cut right to it, with a team telling you, we don't know if you're going to be here next year. I don't know how. That's so hard to do, man. That's got to be so hard to show up and be focused at the age that he is. When we're going to hear it, when he talks about, I put the work in. I've already proven that I should get this money. And you got to show up and put all that to the side and focus in on what you're doing with the unknown being there. That's a tough ask, man. Here's Amari Cooper yesterday, audio courtesy of the Browns. Are you satisfied with this resolution of the guaranteed money, adding a little incentives for this season, but no future guarantees? Here's Amari Cooper. Are you all good with everything that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm content for sure. Obviously I wanted more guarantees in the contract, just because I feel like I've earned it. But you can always get what you wish for all the time. But it's definitely noted. If I have to go earn it, that's what I'll do.
That part, that's got to sting a little, say, I got to go earn this, when he's probably sitting there believing I've already done enough to earn it. Now, this is what I also love from Amari. Did you know that you were going to be here for camp? And he pretty emphatically says, I wasn't going to miss this.
To be honest, holding out was never in the cards. I don't have any experience doing it, so I'm kind of a routine kind of guy. And I'm the type of guy, I need those reps. You know what I mean? So, I always knew I was going to be here at training camp for sure.
That's it. And that probably leans towards he knew the Browns maybe had him a little bit in these negotiations. But I appreciate that from him. I really do, because I think that sends a message to the team. You do want him out there. And that sounds like a veteran player, right? That says, I need to show up for this. I understand the importance of practice. I'm not one that skips out on it. And even when things didn't go your way, to set that, again, that's why I think Amari Cooper's bigger than me, man. Seriously, to set that aside and say, I'm not going to let this bleed into my work. I'm not going to let this overshadow what I'm trying to do here or what the rest of the team is doing. Now, the big question is, what is the future for Amari Cooper? Because they could get out of this after this year. And I guess Amari is playing, if I go out there and play really, really well, then I'm going to get paid up. And I'm going to be stuck, I'm going to be around here for years to come. Here's Amari Cooper asked yesterday, audio courtesy of the Browns, would you like to stay here in Cleveland beyond this season?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been nothing but success here in terms of what I've been able to do on the field. I look to get better each and every year while I'm here. I'm really the type of guy that, takes heed to old sayings. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm not really trying to go somewhere else. You never know. The grass isn't always green on the other side. So, I would rather stay where I'm thriving.
He dropped 2 philosophical cliches on you there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And I heard Daryl Ryder say this. Shout out to Daryl. And he brought up a great point. This season is not only contingent on what Amari Cooper does, it's contingent on what Jerry Jeudy does. It's contingent on Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman. If those guys explode onto the scene all of a sudden, you're going to feel a little more apt to being like, okay, maybe we can survive without Amari Cooper. So there's a lot at play on how this season goes out. Now, Amari joked a little bit later about Kevin Stefanski calling plays and trying to get him the football, and he loves Stefanski for that reason. That's the other thing about Stefanski calling plays. I think that's a win for Amari Cooper, right? Because very clearly Kevin Stefanski likes getting the ball to Amari Cooper. So that's a big win for him. And you hope and you go and you hope that you get out there and everything goes well on offense. But then the other side of that is, if you're going well on offense, I'm assuming that means Deshaun Watson's playing well. You're going to have to allocate money for him then too. I've said this. I'm sticking to it. After this season, one of 2 things is going to happen to Deshaun Watson. He's either going to get cut or he's going to get extended. There's no third direction. There isn't. So if he plays well, and even at like an average to maybe above average level, I think he's getting a new deal to spread that money on out. That's new money that you can't allocate elsewhere with MJ Nina deal and Miles and JRK, like all these other deals. That's where it might come short for Amari Cooper. So that's the future being unwritten is an uneasy thing there, but it will be told on how the games are played out this year when it comes to Amari Cooper. Do you think he's done after this year? We asked that question the other day. And
I think it depends on 2 things. One, if he plays well enough to earn a second contract, of course. And then 2, it depends on if he thinks Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. Because if he's a free agent, he has the decision, right? So if he wants to come back and he feels as though it's a place he can win, and I'm sure that's on his mind, forefront, you have the money now. Last 4 years, you got $80 million guaranteed. You're set for life, unless you blow your money. But Amari Cooper clearly seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're either gonna stay here because you put up really good numbers and you feel comfortable here. But I feel like the ultimate factor will be if he sees promise in Deshaun Watson.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of like anything in life. Is $8 worth $10 somewhere else? Is it worth him to stay here and take a little less money for the continuity? He's been here. He likes it here. Those are all simple things for us too, right? If you've ever had job offers to go somewhere else and they offer you more money, but you're giving up family or you're giving up a place you feel comfortable, that all happens, and that happens on the professional side of things as well. So that all comes back to what Amari Cooper's going to do. All right, Browns today, we're going to hear from Stefanski at about 10:30, actually. So we'll be able to get some quotes from him. They have practice at 11. Miles and Deshaun Watson going to speak after practice out there in the Greenbrier. So they're underway, going to be there for 8 nights, getting ready to go for training camp back here in Berea. And before you know, dude, I saw it because we're a week away from a preseason game, not us, but the Hall of Fame game right around the corner. So football is back. It's awesome. And we got a busy day down there in the Greenbrier yesterday. So we're excited to see what today brings. I was not excited for the...
Are they just buns?
Dude, what is going on with our offense, man? And I know, yes, it's not the first time that a pitcher makes one mistake and it costs you the game. That's what happened to Gavin Williams yesterday. One pitch to freaking Javi Baez, who he annoys the piss out of me.
Yeah, he does.
I don't.
He's horrible.
Oh, he's really bad. Really bad. That's probably why it annoys me so much. You made one mistake and it lost the game. 4 hits on a bullpen day? And then I hear Vogt after the game, and I get that he can't come out and rip his guys. You want to give credit to the Tigers. But he said, I think we still had good at-bats. What? You still think you had a good approach against a bullpen day that you got 4 obviously meaningless hits? You split. All right, fine. You split. You're still... I shouldn't be complaining, man. We're still one of the best teams in the American League.
Yeah, but you see it just slowly.
I know. And now this weekend, what are you going to do? Hey, man, here come the Phillies. Here we go. Let's go. We're after it now. Those games just bother me so much. Gavin Williams didn't deserve to lose that game. He did not deserve to lose that game. 9 strikeouts yesterday. You're back to the middle of your lineup. Just, dude, Quan. Oh, man. Another 0 for 4 effort. Something's up, man. I think you need to sit him down. He's got to sit down for a game. You got to get him back on track, man. He has been scuffling. This whole team's been scuffling. The month of July has not been great for them. Hopefully they can turn the page as we get close to August. But now we get ready to go for the trade deadline, which is what? Days away?
Yeah, I mean, what now? 5? 4?
4? July 30th. You got 4 days left, man. You got till next Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern to make some trades. So we got a couple to start. That pitcher gets moved. Randy Arozarena gets moved. The lid is now starting to get lifted. And I think you're also going to start looking at teams that are going to wave the white flag. And they're done, and they're ready to make some moves. I go over to ESPN this morning. Bradford Doolittle and David Schoenfield. The deals we would like to see at the MLB trade deadline. And they start with deals that would surprise the baseball world. The Tigers trade Tariq Skubal. Doolittle says, send him to the Brewers. David Schoenfield, send him to the Orioles. The Toronto Blue Jays move on from Vlad Jr. Doolittle, send him to the Yankees. God, please don't do that. And Schoenfield says the Astros, which isn't much better. Actually, I prefer him to go to the Yankees over the Astros. Screw the Astros. And then he said a deal that would rule the trade deadline. And that is moving Garrett Crochet. So we know he's the apple of the eye. Oh, by the way, did you see what the former White Sox pitcher did yesterday? They traded away with Dylan Cease throwing a no-no yesterday.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in the update.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So it sounds like the White Sox are going to move on from Garrett Crochet. He's only owed $800,000 for this season. And he's the top pitcher available. Bradford Doolittle, send him to the Orioles. Woo! Now, again, Schoenfield had the Orioles going to get Tariq Skubal. So that would then take them out of this for Garrett Crochet. David Schoenfield, send Garrett Crochet to the Cleveland Guardians.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, come on, man. Here's this write-up. The Guardians score enough runs, not recently. They have perhaps the greatest bullpen season of all time in the works, and they play solid defense. What they need is a starting pitcher. Not just for October, but to hold off the Twins and the Royals for the rest of the regular season. I love this line from David Schoenfield. The Guardians are more frugal than that uncle who's been complaining about the price of milk since 1979.
Bro.
You want to know one of the things about like generational things and eras and all that kind of stuff? I remember when gas was less than $1. I remember a time in my life when it was shocking that they had to put the 1 up in front of a gallon of gas.
I remember when a $5 footlong was actually $5.
Right. That's, inflation, all that. But like
when things at the dollar store were actually $1.
Five Below, good store. Love Five Below. But that's just funny. Like, that uncle that's been complaining about the price of milk since 1979. Here's the solution, right? Schoenfield about Crochet potentially coming to the Guardians. He's only making $800,000. And they said, one night of moderate attendance and some good concession sales will cover what he's owed for the remainder of the season. All the Guardians have to do is pony up a nice group of prospects. Having lucked into winning the draft and taking Travis Bazzana, they can afford to deal the package needed to get Crochet. Reminder, Cleveland hasn't won the World Series since 1948. Chris Antonetti was pretty forthright when he said this week, that they are trying very hard. The thing at play there is it's the White Sox. And the interdivision trades almost always require a little extra. because they're going to have to see us have Garrett Crochet for a while, and we're going to have to see whatever prospects A, B, and C you give up. They could come back to bite you in the ass,
But are
right?
we going to have Crochet for a while, even if we trade for him?
So, yeah, the thing about Garrett Crochet,
How many years is he controlled?
I think he's still got 2 years of arbitration. Garrett Crochet contract. Yes, I want to continue my browsing on that because I think I've Googled it before. Dude, he still got exactly right. 2 years of arbitration. So he avoided arbitration this year with an $800,000 deal. Now, next year, age 26 year for him, after what he's done this season, I'm just spitballing here. I think somewhere $6, $7, $8 million on arbitration. But if he can pitch to the level that you think he can, with potentially Shane Bieber coming back, there's something to hold on to there. Then you still have the option, if you really wanted to trade him after that season, and he still has a year of arbitration left to go to some other team. It makes a lot of sense. I think it makes too much sense. Now, what you have to give up, and people get wrapped up on this prospect or that. I don't care either. I don't care either. We're like, and we discussed this the other day. The one untouchable is Travis Pizzana. That's it. Like, do I like John Kenzie Noel? Sure. If they had to include him in that deal, I'm making that deal. I am. And there might be a day 3 years down the road where John Kenzie Noel is the cleanup hitter for the Tigers and he's mashing 35 home runs. And I'll sit there and I mark my words. I would sit there and say, good for him. We made the trade that I wanted them to trade. I ain't going to bitch about it. You got to hold on to that. Now, the other flip side is whatever prospect you send, they become nothing. How many times do you see deals, truthfully, across baseball for prospects that you go, wow, man? Like, and again, I don't know every trade of every team. Like, I'm just trying to think about the Guardians, right? And you would say what? Emmanuel Clase for Corey Kluber. That looks like a giant freaking steal, right?
Yeah.
You got Josh Naylor as part of that Mike Clevenger deal. Okay, he has worked out. Like, but Gabriel Arias, who was part of that deal. Austin Hedges, okay, fine. Even when you got Jimenez as part of the deal with the Lindor stuff, that has worked out. I'll live with it. And the trends tell you that you're actually more likely these prospects fade on out than actually becoming something. Yeah. And how many times you'll send 3, maybe 1 becomes something. You don't know which one, but 1 might become something. And it could still be an even trade. You could still be happy that they made this trade and then the Tigers got their future pieces. You get off to the races. I'm not going to let this die. I don't want this. I want to be in on Garrett Crochet. I want to be in on Fetty or Flaherty or whoever else. And I was just relieved to hear Chris Antonetti say this week that he goes, we're trying, man. We're trying. But that's not good enough for me. Trying only gets you so far. Make a deal. And if you got to go Godfather and give them a deal that they can't refuse, if that's what you have to do, then do it. If you got to go over the top because it is in division and you're also competing against the Orioles and all these other teams that want starting pitching, and it's almost a 2-4 in that, right? You're stealing something away from the Orioles. You'll steal something away from the Twins potentially. You don't want them to go there. Get them to Cleveland, man. Get them to Cleveland. And could you imagine what that could do for this team? To shake it up, wake them up, get going. Do you imagine the energy boost that you would get for this team if you say you signed Garrett Crochet? And let's also call it for what it is, too. He comes to this team, and you have Matthew Boyd and still Logan Allen. You have a potential 3 lefty type of situation getting down to the playoffs. It's pretty good, man.
Makes too much sense.
And I'm always one, if you can find one, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I always want a lefty in my rotation. I know it's righty dominated, but if you could get me an impactful left-handed pitcher in that rotation, I'll take it. I'm not discrediting Matthew Boyd. I know he'll be here. But, dude, if you can go get Garrett Crochet, contract makes sense, whatever you got to give up. The other problem, though.
Will you shave your beard if they get Crochet?
Sure.
No, you won't.
Yeah, well, why not?
Like full beard.
I look like I'm 12, sure.
I've never seen you without a beard.
So I used to, and maybe I'll do it this year. I didn't do last year because we're like obviously on video. I used to always do no shave November mustache. My uncle's a prostate cancer survivor.
Wish I could grow my.
So it's all right. I think my stash comes in all right. It's not Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds level.
No, I'm talking. You have to shave the whole thing
if you want me to, sure.
if they get crochet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Dude, what? We'll know by Tuesday. Yeah, I'll hold you. I 100%.
All right,
No problem. We have family pictures this weekend, so like as long as we get that out of the way, my wife won't care.
What if?
No. If they trade for him today, no. Monday. I'll do it Monday. I'll do it Sunday morning. I cannot do it for family pictures.
You just said it. You just said it.
We have family pictures tomorrow afternoon. I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Nope.
If they trade for him today, you have to shave tonight.
Yeah, that was not part of the deal.
Yes.
I just said I would shave eventually if they traded for Garrett Crochet. What if I do it live on the air?
On tomorrow's show. Oh, it's Friday.
Haha, gotcha. Not coming in on Saturday, buddy. Not doing that.
No.
We should get like Harry's or Dollar Shave Club. We'll call them, get a sponsorship going, and I will shave live on the air.
No, you shave tonight
No.
if they trade for him. Yes, you do.
No.
Yes.
We have 4. Probably should know this. I think it's 4 o'clock tomorrow.
You're backing out.
4:30. We have family pictures at 4:30 tomorrow. After that, I'm down. I will not do that before family pictures. That can't be a thing. So after that, sure. Now, the other issue with Garrett Crochet, and I guess I buried the lead a little bit on this, there's reports out that he won't go anywhere unless he gets a contract extension. So we were talking about his money earlier. You could play hardball. He's making it known that he would not pitch in the playoffs and would not come out of the bullpen without a contract extension with the team that he goes to. You want a dicey question? If they traded for him,
okay,
and you had to give him a contract extension,
okay,
who would you rather give the money to? Josh Naylor or Garrett Crochet? Who are you going to say?
I thought you were talking about Bieber.
No, dude, what? Did we not have that conversation before the season? When I was driving that horse, before Bieber got hurt, I said, sign him to an extension. Sign him to a 5-year deal. And say, make the best out of this situation that you can. 5 years, $70 million. It's probably more than you're going to make on the free agency market. You get to stay here. I would have done that before Bieber got hurt. Look at us now. Whatever. Would you rather sign Garrett Crochet or Stephen Kwan to a long-term extension after this season?
Kwan.
Probably.
I'd rather sign Crochet than Naylor, probably.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think of guys that are in line to sign a deal. And there's, again, the Dolans. I'm not going to discredit the Blitzer money and all this. Supposedly it's going to be coming in. But he said he won't pitch for the team that he gets traded to unless he gets a contract extension. That's a big old wrench into this. Can I spin it to keep this thing alive for you, buddy?
Sure.
That's a negotiation tactic. Go back to the White Sox and go wink and give you every little prospect that you want. Because now that he has made this known, that undercuts the bottom line for the White Sox. Because you would go to the White Sox and say, normally you get 4 of these prospects, right? We're going to back you on down. You're going to get 3, and it's not going to be everybody that you wanted because we now have to pay this guy too. That helps. That helps. And, I'm sure he wants one of these insane 5-year deals or something like that. The thing is, and you got to remember this about contracts in professional sports, there's almost always an out. Even in Deshaun Watson is a prime example where even with the guaranteed money that everybody freaked out about, the Browns are preparing for the out. They don't want to have to take it, but they're still preparing for it. Baseball, same thing. And they have player and team options. Go ahead, sprinkle those on it. Get him. Oh, do this. Trade for Garrett Crochet. Give him a 5-year, because again, he's a good pitcher, but he's not as well established as some of these other guys. Here's a 4-year, I don't know, give me a number, 95, 100. Here's 4 years, 25 a year, which is insane.
Yeah.
But build in an out after 2 years. Build in your player option, team option, because maybe he wouldn't want to be here anymore. But, pitchers are so hard, man. Takes one pitch, right? And they're done. And I guess it can be any position, any sport. I get all that. But I actually think Crochet coming out and saying, I want a contract, I think that actually helps the Guardians a little bit. If you can go back to the White Sox and be like, dude, you're not going to get all these prospects, so we still got to pay them, too. And the White Sox sure is only going to pay them. Like, the game that they're playing over there, trying to hold on to some of these guys, come on now. We all know what's going on, which sucks. Like, thank God, again, we're never in that situation. They keep it alive, man. Because, look, the White Sox are dead in the water, man. They got nothing going on. And they don't have anything for the future either. So, I think it's a primer. We've opened things up now. We're ready to go. Trades are abound. Let's see how it goes. And I just, by Tuesday, we'll find out. We'll find out. Olympics are kicking off today. That's exciting. We'll get to all that coming up. We've got the morning update. We've got our Twitter question up at Matt Fontana Show. Do you like that Kevin Stefanski is retaining play calling for the Browns? 70-30. People say yes. They're on board with that. Ryan's got stories coming up in the morning update. We'll dabble with the grid. We got a little bit of time up. Plenty coming up in hour 2 right here. Fontana Show, Big Play. Follow us on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. It's all there. Back right after this.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. And you saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky
All right, welcome on back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Ryan's got the stories you got to know. We call it the morning update on a Friday. Ryan, take it away.
All righty, Matt. Well, the Browns are in Greenbrier, good old West Virginia.
Country road. No, you don't want
I was going to say that.
You don't want
I was going to think of a pun.
You don't.
But I didn't.
Yeah,
but as expected, of course, Browns running back Nick Chubb, he is on the pup, as well as offensive tackle Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills, Delvin Tomlinson. On the NFI non-football injury list is, of course, Greg Newsome, who we know has to get hamstring surgery, and running back Nyheim Hines.
I think it's the injury news was, again, I noticed everybody's freaking out about Kevin Stefanski calling plays. For me, it's definitely the injuries. That's concerning about Greg Newsome, just when it comes to a hamstring type of thing. And it delays the start. And baseball is a little different, like with spring training. But when Gavin Williams missed all of spring training, it takes months to ramp back up. When is Greg Newsome going to get back on the field? If they say, all right, he's going to get back on the field, right before week 1, well, there might have to be a couple of weeks of him getting ramped up. Do they put him on that PUP list to miss the first 4 games? All that you got to figure out. You got to see how he responds. I just don't like he's having hamstring surgery. The rest of the guys, Tomlinson getting that knee scoped and some of the linemen, you'll figure it out. It'll be just fine with those. But I was concerned about the Greg Newsome thing. I really was. Keep your eye out on that. You've got position of depth there if you need it. And then the rest of the stuff. Stefanski calling plays. You know where I stand on it. I think it was the right call for the Browns to do that, for Kevin Stefanski to do that. And Amari Cooper showing up, I think sends a great signal to the team. I'm sure, and I know, that was not the deal that he was looking for. But he understands the importance of this season, and I hope one way or another he gets made whole. Whether it's with the Cleveland Browns or with somebody else, I hope it works out for Amari Cooper, because that means the Browns are also pretty good this year.
Alrighty, well, the Guardians' offense remains on the side of a milk carton as they split the series with the Detroit Tigers. Now they travel to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. And, Matt, this is the first game, I believe, with 2 60-win teams of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to put more on other series. Like, I wanted 3 out of 4 from the Tigers. We didn't get it. But if you can go take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, does that make you feel better? I mean, it's crazy that we're sitting here and I'm like complaining and not feeling great when you still have a 4.5 game lead in the AL and you're in the AL Central, and you're tied with the Orioles for the best record in the American League. But it doesn't feel that way, does it?
No, not at all.
And I think has everybody not hit the skid right now? Everybody, at least in the American League, it's like I've got the standings up right here, right? Last 10 games, Orioles 4-6, Yankees 4-6, Red Sox 4-6, Guardians 4-6, Twins 4-6, Astros 5-5. The best team right now is the Royals. They just went 6-4 in their last 10. Like, it really, everybody hit this all of a sudden. Everybody has just come to a screaming stop. Good. Keep afloat. Still feel real good about the playoffs, and try to go get something after here with the Phillies, again, who are scuffling in their own right. I'll put more on this series. I do like best on best, though. I like seeing that. And I'm sorry. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to say, is this a little playoff primer? Can you play this series like you feel like it's a starter? And tonight, you have it. Sanchez is on the hill for the Phillies. He's one of their better starting pitchers, and you get Ben Lively going. I need the... What? We need Joe Boo. Mike sent me the tweet. Wake bats up. Hats for bats. Give me some damn rum up in here. Something. He wants to sacrifice a whole chicken. Maybe having people throw up, Jake. I'll figure something out. We need to do something to wake these bats up. And I see it that they're tinkering with the lineup a little bit and doing that. It's just the approach. And another thing that Vogt said after the game yesterday, he goes, we go up there with an approach, right? Where you go, today it's going to be all about taking it to the opposite field, right? And then he goes, guys, step in the box, and then their mind just shifts of, I just need to get a freaking hit here. And I, like, you stand in that box with that mindset of just like, dude, I got to do something here. I got to get a hit. Yeah. You're fucking struck out. You're done. You're fried. If you go out there the right approach, sure. And if that pitcher's just dealing, and I do understand that bullpen games can be very hard because you're not facing the same guy over and over again. There's just a little element of surprise with all of that. But I just need a better approach to the play. And Vogt is telling me there's nothing wrong with the approach. So that then tells me it's a mental thing. I guess it all is mental. Approach is a mental thing, too. But, man, doesn't that tighten the screws on Ben Lively, too? When you watch him go out there tonight and you just go, you really can't make any mistakes, man. One pitch. Well, I would say one pitch because he obviously had 2 runners on. But, like, Gavin Williams made a couple of mistakes yesterday and lost that game.
You think it could get ugly tonight?
We'll get to our bets, man. Phillies are minus 165 on the money line. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy. Over-under is 8.5, which, again, you would say slam the under, right? Sanchez has a 2.97 ERA. Lively 3.5. I mean, again, you would feel like take the under. But they're going to wake up eventually. I think that just might have to be my play. I am. Stay away from me, buddy. Whatever I tell. So yesterday, let me tell you what I did yesterday, okay? A little 4-leg parlay. And that's why, RIP to Typico. Like, that imperfect parlay was so great. Yesterday, Jose Ramirez hit. Ding.
Oh, wait, I saw your tweet about
Josh Naylor. Ding. Gavin Williams, 4 or more strikeouts. Ding. Doubled that Guardians money line. Actually, I took a -1.5. Friday. The night before, I just needed one more strikeout from Tanner Bybee.
Oh, that was the one I saw.
That was the one you saw.
What gift did you use?
What's that?
What was the gift you used? I forget.
Wedding. The wedding singer. Somebody kill me, please. And I actually regret sending that gift. I don't ever like saying stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna go jump off the 4E bridge. Like, suicide's a real thing, and I actually very much regretted using that gift.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it, man. I get that people are just saying that in a sports parlay, in a sports parlance thing. I'm just like, oh my god, it makes me want to do that. But I shouldn't use that one. I don't like using that kind of stuff. But I was very sad that I missed my bet. So I'm ice cold. So whatever I tell you tonight, probably just fade me. But for tonight, I'm trying. I think I just need to zig and zag here. Like, I really am feeling the over on this.
Just bet Philly's money line.
That's blood money. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that.
All right,
we're on Bet365, who I'd love to come on the show, by the way. How about these predetermined parlays here? Guards money line, David Fry, 1 hit, Josh Naylor, 1 hit. 325. Kind of like that one. How about guards money line, John Kenzie Noel, 1 RBI, plus 500 for that. Guardians money line, Jose, 1 hit, 1 RBI, plus 400 on that. And the other thing, too, is you get to see Bryce Harper. You get to see Alec Boehm. Like, you see one of the top teams in baseball. I'm really excited for this game tonight. Like, regardless of how cold I am, I'm really excited for this game tonight. Just get the bats rolling. I think I'm going to take the over on some goodwill there for the Guardians. I just hope they don't get smoked 9-0. We'll see.
Alrighty, there you go. Well, yesterday, Dylan Cease threw the second no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. Matt, I think Dylan Cease's last 3 games might be the best stretch of 3-game starting I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And bear with me because I'm very bad at math.
That's fine.
9 plus 7 would be 16.
Correct.
Plus 6 would be 22.
Yes.
So over his last 3 games, 22 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 30 strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the greatest stretch I've ever seen?
That's filth. And I always go back to people that debate about if no-hitters and perfect games are more on the batters than it is the pitchers, because sometimes they got to, have a bad approach and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, only the second no-hitter, because I felt like we were on a streak where we get 4 or 5 a season, And I think we're at 2 right now, a little past the midpoint for baseball. And I really thought there might be obviously less because of the shift. Those years we had the shift, we were getting a lot more.
Yeah.
Because hits that would have been hits and guys are roaming. They're the rover out there in shallow outfield and all that kind of stuff. Still very impressive. And that's another prime example. I don't want to make the comparison to the Guardians here. Telling me that the Padres aren't happy they went and got Dylan Cease? Come on now. So, trades like that can have serious impact for your team. So congratulations to him. Goes down in history for sure.
Alrighty, well, the Olympics, yes, they are kicking off. And the men's basketball team, their first game is this Sunday, Matt. They're taking on...
The thing I keep jumping on is that dream team back in 1992. Do you know the entire Olympics? You know how many NBA players they faced? 3.
Yeah, I saw that. Now they're playing
and
like
now,
67 or something.
Like 67 NBA players throughout the pools and throughout all the other teams. I mean, it's just much more diversified now. You have a lot of teams that, like Team Canada is a borderline NBA team. They're putting on NBA guys. So I think it'll be tougher, but they'll win gold. Will it be as impressive of beating everybody by? Yeah, they should.
Well, yeah,
they should. I mean, Durant, coming back off the injury, I think is important. It's just that team is so stacked that even if LeBron has an off night, okay, give it to Ant Edwards, right? If he's got an off night, give it to Steph Curry. Here comes Durant. I have no reason to believe that they're not going to win the whole thing. I just don't think they're going to win every game by 50. There'll be a nail biter at some point, but here's the other thing. LeBron wants this.
Yeah, he does.
And when LeBron wants things and he's got people around, and Steph is even talking about the IQ. He really spoke about the IQ because this is the first time outside of All-Star games, and they didn't give a damn, that they're playing it. And Steph was he was so amazed by LeBron's high basketball IQ. when LeBron wants something like that and he can get this collective of guys on the same page pushing for that same thing, I don't see any problems. I don't. Doesn't mean that there won't be a close nail-biting game at some point, but I have no reason to believe they're not going to win the. What are the odds on that? I'm sure. I'm going to guess minus 600 maybe, if that. All right, Olympics, track and field, archery. Who do you like in the badminton? Men's side. Win outright. Here we go. Victor Axelsen. He's 7-4. Anders Antonsen is 12-1. Basketball. Win outright. USA 4-24. What the hell does that mean? Yes, confirm my location, please. I'm in the great state of Ohio. Thank you very much. Oh, come on, man.
You don't know badminton players off the top of your head?
No, I'm trying. They have it as, instead of like plus or minus money, they're 4-25. You'd have to bet $25 to win 4.
Oh, you're talking about the basketball.
I'm talking about basketball, Team USA. That is a defined of 86%. That is minus 625. Okay. What did I say? 600? There we go. They're minus 625 to win the whole thing. Canada is 10-1. France 14-1. I've got no reason to believe that they won't do it, so get after it.
All righty, well, lastly here on the morning update, big news out of Ohio, Matt. Ohio Supreme Court says that boneless chicken wings, well,
I saw this.
They can have bones.
Why?
Republicans on the Ohio Supreme Court ruled that bones are a natural part of a chicken, and a consumer should be on guard for them, even in boneless wings, Matt. Now, do you know why this even went to a vote?
I can only imagine somebody ordered boneless wings, they chomp into one, and they break a tooth or the bone stabs them in the mouth.
Well, I got the answer right here for you. In April of 2016, Michael Berkheimer, he ordered boneless wings, Parmesan garlic.
Oh, so good.
Not my favorite. In Brockwood in Hamilton. I believe that's near Cincinnati.
Okay.
On the third piece, he, quote, felt something go down the wrong pipe. He unsuccessfully tried clearing his throat and later that night started to run a fever. The next day, the doctor removed the chicken bone, but Berkheimer ended up with an infection and endured 2 surgeries. The vote passed 4-3.
I mean, that goes back to, like, do you remember when McDonald's was getting sued for their hot coffee?
Yes.
And the debate is, like, you ordered a coffee. They hand it to you, you spill it on your leg, but the thing is, people were getting serious burns over it. So what did McDonald's say? They had to print giant on the side of their coffee cup that you have over there. Hold up your McCafe cup.
Oh, mine.
Yeah, yours. You got it right there. What does it say on the side? Contents are hot. It's right there. You just had it. Turn
Caution
it back.
hot, precaución caliente.
There you go. Mucho caliente, amigos. Like, now they're out of it, right? Because they say you're buying this coffee. That should not be the case for boneless wings. If I order boneless wings and now that happens, like, have you ever cracked a tooth? I have. It sucks.
I don't think so.
And you're biting into something you think is soft, and there's something in there that's not. And I guess I don't know. Okay,
I've eaten like a really hard piece of rice from Chipotle so many times.
Yeah, but like if you're chewing a boneless wing, and you just spit it out? Like, how did he actually swallow it? He must not have been chewing his food all that well. I mean, the debate is boneless versus bone-in. And
classic all day long.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I love them both. Here's the thing. I love them both. And there's some times that boneless wings just hit better than regular wings. Seriously. And it comes back to the breading. You know, we got this a couple of weeks ago with our family. We were out running errands. And my wife goes, hey, this particular restaurant is right around the corner. Do you want to get wings on top of our other meals? And I was like, yeah, I do. Ate them. I forgot how hard Applebee's barbecue wings go.
Winking Lizard?
Dude, slaps, man. They are so good. And again, I like regular wings, but sometimes the boneless just hit, you know? And I get it that it's usually like all the other parts of the chicken. It's not like they actually cut out this little piece. It's that they chop it all up and they build. I don't care, man.
Yeah, I don't care either.
There's the running joke, I think, on you remember those Budweiser commercials, Real Men of Genius? And there was one about boneless wings, and they go, is it chicken ass? And, you know, I don't care. It tastes good to me. I'm eating it. I don't want bones in it, though. I don't. So this is the Supreme Court ruling that this guy is entitled to no money. is basically what they're saying here. He
Right.
can sue, but and what's he suing under the pretense of false advertising? You said it was boneless. But then they go, well, we can't go through every single wing and x-ray it to make sure there's no bones in it. Like,
you think we'll start to see menus that say like not guaranteed
potential
100%?
Yeah, right. Eat with. I mean, what do you see at the bottom of every menu? If you eat undercooked poultry or fish, like you run the risk of getting sick.
Right.
And it's even if you order it well done, or if you order, nobody would order raw, medium rare chicken. You need your chicken fully cooked. But they put that on there on the off
Imagine
chance
you gotta
get
start
sick.
signing waivers to eat boneless wings.
I know, it's the world we live in, man. Everybody's trying to avoid getting sued.
Yeah.
Dude, wing. Might be a wing Friday at the Fontana household.
I think I'm going to the Lizard later.
Dude, the Lizard is so my buddy. I didn't even tell you what my buddy Pat did I? He created a player in NCAA football that is my son and had him commit to Michigan. What a jackass!
Oh yeah, you did tell me that.
He is nobody goes to Winking Lizard more than my buddy Pat, and he doesn't always get wings, which I think is interesting. I go, why? And the Lizard has great wraps and great burgers and all that kind of stuff, man. You're right. Their wings hit so hard there, but sometimes boneless just go.
Flats are
I actually like drums. I like drums a little more than flats, but I'm an equal opportunity.
Charles says flats. I actually like drums more.
I kind of think I like the drums because you get a little of that, those like little crispy nodule things, right? And that's a bad word to describe it, but it's like, those little crisps that you get on there. That's why my in-laws are just meant to be together. My mother-in-law likes flats. My father-in-law likes drums. So they will order wings and they'll say, I want all flats and he wants all drums. So they just flip it back and forth. I love it all though. Never met a bad wing. Don't know if I ever met a bad wing. I mean, there's sauces, like, I will never do the atomic fire, wreck your butt type of stuff. Like, I'm out on that.
Yeah, no thanks.
But, like, garlic parm's fine. I'm a big teriyaki fan.
Yeah,
Okay, you want to take on that?
Gas.
Teriyaki is only good on traditional wings. I've had them with boneless. They never hit.
Yeah, no, that's
now,
fact.
barbecue, I think hits for both.
Oh, yeah.
You ever had Erie Island smoke? It's a dry rub wing.
I'm not a dry rub. I don't like
you got to try it. Cajun. That's the recipe for my father-in-law. He orders Cajun wings with a side of barbecue sauce, and he just dunks those in.
Yeah.
I need some wings bad.
Yeah,
I
I'm
need
hungry.
some wings bad. I need the grid. Here we go. All right. I have figured out what our next giveaway is going to be.
Oh.
So we'll do it hopefully next week. I
Will
know
we
what
ever
our
get
next
another one?
What's that?
I said, will we ever get 5 in?
We better, because I've got a giveaway in mind. I've got to give away.
Wait. Are we doing, can it just be 5 in a row? Like, could today's count?
I mean, I'll leave it up to you. I don't know. What do you think? I like the 5 in a week. I think it puts pressure on us.
Okay.
But if we get today's, then maybe we roll that over. I don't know. Here's how it goes. Got to put a player in each of these grids. Only one team. We'll get to all that. We have 9 minutes to do it. Once we do it, 5 days. Again, maybe we got to change to just 5 days in a row. But certainly if we do it within a week, we'll do a giveaway. I have ascertained what our next giveaway will be, but it all starts today. Go!
All right. Michael Evans.
Sure. Mike. I like how you call him Michael.
Oh, yes, he's probably in there as Mike.
I would say he's in there as Mike, too. I was also going to go Antoine Winfield, but that's okay. Najee Harris, George Pickens. Stroud, Will Anderson. All right, here we go. Yeah, what's screaming there? Is that not Ndamukong Kung Su?
It is, and that would not work anywhere else. So.
Yeah. But there's somebody else screaming there, isn't there?
Was.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick would have worked for that.
Sure, we'll save him for something else. Am I misremembering Minkah Fitzpatrick?
No, he's 100% there. I was going to say Chase Claypool, right?
Oh, yeah, that works too.
But I know for a fact Minkah.
Yeah, Minko. Brandon Cooks. No, not Brandon Cooks.
Am I tripping, or did Will Fuller play for the Dolphins?
That sounds right. Now, here's the crazy thing. I think just go Brandon Cooks, Texans, Rams.
Yes.
Right? Let's do that. Get that out of the way. Because I was going to say, I think Will Fuller might work there, too.
No, he didn't play for the Rams.
Okay. I like your Will Fuller. I got nothing. Well, You want to hold off? We'll just come back to
Arian Foster. 100%.
Okay, good call.
Right?
Yeah. Good call. Nice. All right. Rams Steelers. All right. Quarterbacks, nothing's really coming to mind.
Was that Switzer we did that one time? Wasn't it Steelers, Rams, we went Switzer?
I mean, I know, again, he works for the Steelers. I don't know if he went to the Rams or not.
All right, well, hold on.
I'll believe you on that.
That's Baker.
Baker.
All right.
Correct.
Well, we got plenty of time.
All right, we got plenty of time. Mitchell Trubisky, no. Duck Hodges, no. Like Mason Rudolph, no. I'm just trying to think about running through quarterbacks.
Sony Michel never played for the Steelers, did he?
I don't think so. Like D'Angelo Williams, don't think so. You know, the tough thing is, I think there's got to be like a legacy, like 80s, 70s type of player here, but I can't. I can't really go back that far. Oh, jeez. Defensive players.
Wait.
What?
No. Antonio Brown never played for Rams, did he?
No. No, he left Pittsburgh, went to the Bucks. Did he go to the Jets? Or did he freak out when he left? That was against the Jets when he was with the Bucks.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he ever went there.
Le'Veon Bell? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Antoine Randall, I don't think so. Cordell Stewart, I don't know. Cordell Patterson, don't think so. Well, he just got there too, didn't he? He just got there. Son of a gun. Hines Ward, no. Charlie Batch? Nothing? Dude. I mean, well, again, we have time. Like, there's other things I wanted to get to, so, like, I'll leave it up to you. You just want to rip Ryan Switzer?
Yes.
I really am a little, like, tight ends.
I mean,
I don't think Heath
Vance
Miller.
McDonald, I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe. I think Vance McDonald's still there, isn't he?
I mean, like, James Harrison never played there.
Oh, no, he's retired.
For a year,
Vance
did he?
McDonald's done. What's that?
Like, James Harrison never played there for a year? or
No,
anything?
he went to Arizona. I mean, it might have to hinge on Ryan Switzer here, man. Might have to be. How good do you feel about the Rams? Not really. You're just bringing it up because you brought it up before.
Yeah.
There's got to be a quarterback. I think there's got to be. Damn.
I don't know about any of the legacy
That's
players.
what I'm saying. Like, I think we're struggling. We're in the blender right now.
Like Martavis Bryant. I don't know if he ever went to the Rams.
No. But there's something. Oh, Deontay Johnson. No. I feel like we're
James
on.
Washington? No.
I kind of like it. I don't know if I like it more than Switzer. I want to Google it so bad. Dude. We might just have to rip one, man.
I guess Switzer. It was 3 years.
Yeah, I know that's tough. I don't know.
Should I just rip it?
Might as well.
See, yeah, like Jerome Bettis.
It was Jerome Bettis?
But I wouldn't have known that. Like, I don't know anything about the legacy players.
All right, go down and see the rest of them.
Right,
Damn.
Which one do we want to look at first?
Just the Steelers, Rams. I think we figured everything else out. Steelers, Rams.
I mean, Jerome Bettis was the main one. Steve Bono.
Okay.
Receiving. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know any of those guys.
Really? Huh.
I don't think I recognize a single name on this list.
All right. Well, I guess tough one to do. Tough one to do. All right. We'll get geared up for next week. I've already got the giveaway ready to go for next week. So it'll all start on Monday. We get 5 in a row.
Yeah, they got Bettis in the chat.
They got Bettis in the chat. Yeah, I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that. I did not remember that. The bus. Huh. That's right, because he started in L.A. That's it. That's right.
Yeah, you should have known that, man.
I should have known that he started in L.A.
Come on, man.
Oh, that's right. Damn.
That's on you, man.
I take that on me, man. That's a tough one. Scandals already out of the Olympics. Normally we're dealing blood dope and all that kind of crap. Suspended Canadian women's soccer coach Bev Priestman was likely and alleged to be aware that a drone was being used to spy on the New Zealand. I'm sorry, it comes after the New Zealand team has complaints that Canada was flying a drone over 2 of their training sessions. So the Canadian Olympic Committee removed Priestman on Thursday after her suspension by Canada Soccer. The decision following the complaints from New Zealand that Canada was flying drones over 2 of their sessions before the sides met in an opening Olympic fixture in which Canada won 2-1. Assistant coach Andy Spence will coach the rest of the games for the Olympics. Media reports of previous drone use by the Canadians women's team, including at the last Olympics, added that they thought the issue could impact the team's gold from 2021. The scandal led to angry calls for the Canadian team to be sent home. As more facts and circumstances emerge, says the leader of the Canadian Olympic Committee, we can continue to contemplate further action as necessary. It's important to me the Canadians' questions are answered, so we're going to continue to do our best to answer those questions. TSN, the Canadian Sports Network, reported that drone use predates the 2024 Olympics, with 2 sources with firsthand knowledge saying that the team filmed other opponents' closed-door training sessions during the 2020 Olympics. I bring this up to say this. How stupid do you have to be? Seriously. Another thing that we'll put on our t-shirt of sayings of the show, Ryan, you're gonna get caught. How freaking stupid do you need to be? Have you ever heard a drone? Even the smallest, tiniest little drone makes a lot of noise. Then, when you just look up in the sky and you see it up there, don't you go, what the hell is that?
How do they know it's their drone, though?
But okay, so in that, like, say you're New Zealand. I thought the same thing you did, right? Let's say that we're Team New Zealand, and we're out there, and we're running a practice, and you hear the zzz, and you turn around. You're like, what the fuck is that? As a coach, do you not call somebody over and they go, are we filming content? What is that? And maybe somebody just goes, oh, yeah, I think it's like the social media intern or something like that. Would your not follow-up be, well, you better find that out.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm a coach and you want to film us warming up? Sure, do whatever you want. You want to film some drills? Fine. When we're actually running through legitimate plays, I don't care who it is, you get that damn thing out of the air. Because even if it is your own team, Ryan, what happens if that shit gets hacked? What if somebody logs into your computer and they say, oh, we shot this drone footage? There's got to be elements of the practice. You go, get that thing down. How stupid do you have to be if you're Team Canada?
Very.
And I'm not saying that they should necessarily get thrown out for this kind of stuff. That coach, like, you think somebody's not going to notice? Seriously. Oh, that's just the kid in the neighborhood? No. You find out who, and I also, like, there's a part of this on New Zealand for pulling this kind of stuff up too, to not, like, this is a thing. Like, you've got to be on uber alert. Like, if I was an NFL team or one of these soccer teams, I would have one of my assistant coaches and go, your job every day is to walk the field. And if you see an opening in the fence, if you see somebody sitting out there, you see anything in the air, you get it taken care of. Like, and there should be swift penalties for these teams for doing this kind of stuff. Nothing for me will ever change what the Houston Astros did. And I will beat this horse into the ground and into oblivion. That is the worst case of cheating ever. Because you are directly impacting the outcome of the game. Whether Canada picked up some tips, you still got to go play the game. Okay, Tom Brady deflated some footballs. He still had to make some throws. They stole some practice tape. You still need to go play the game. What the Houston Astros did is the worst ever, in my opinion. You bet on games or you gamble on games and you throw those games like the Black Sox. Okay, that's a whole nother story. What Jonte Porter was doing, that's another side of things too. But you were directly cheating and impacting the outcomes. That's why I'm shocked that Manfred never had the balls to take away that World Series from them. It's disgraceful. It is absolutely disgraceful. This kind of stuff, though, you've got to be on alert. And the thing is, oh my God, it's a line from Batman where they talk about criminals and they're like, they prey on the leniency. Oh, there was Ra's al Ghul. Remember Batman Begins? Where he talks about the criminals, they prey on understanding, or they prey on people that don't have swift. This is something where you want to nip this in the bud. You should have thrown Canada out. Now, is it those players' fault? Not necessarily. But and with the IOC and the Canadian and Olympics, where just cheating is just everywhere and rampant and all that kind of stuff. I guess they just turn the guard. We'll get the coach out of here. It is what it is. That's bull crap. That's utter bull crap that they did that. And this was not a mistake. This was a carefully orchestrated plan to cheat when everybody knew that's wrong. This isn't, I took a tainted supplement. I didn't mean to do that, but I took a tainted supplement. This was, somebody had the idea that we'll fly a drone over our opponent's practice. My 3-year-old could probably tell you that that's not something you're supposed to do. So to orchestrate that, then to get the film, then to break said film down. And how do those players feel? Sitting there going, this seems kind of scummy, right? And they can't speak up because they don't want to go down or they don't want to be the snitch.
Yeah.
I get it. But, like, I think there needs to be worse than this. Come on. This is still what we're doing.
Do we know what the repercussions were?
They just fired the coach. That's it.
Oh.
So far, they kicked the coach out. Bev Priestman. And you want to know the funniest thing? All they could prove is that she likely knew about it. That gets that Connor Stallions kind of stuff. By the way, did you see that Netflix thing that's coming out?
Yeah.
That is going to be some bullcrap propaganda. I don't even know if I want to watch it. Because somebody sent a really good tweet about it, too. These are the same people that made that Urban Meyer Florida documentary. And all that was Urban Meyer. Oh, my God. What are you going to get out of Connor Stallions? Who, by the way, still seems like he has allegiance to Michigan. I don't care. Like, the same thing. That you still had to go play. Now, that is also a level of cheating. Similar to the Astros, because they knew the play calls. That's bullcrap, too. Of course, they lost, which, great. Good for them. TCU screwing them up. Love that. But that kind of cheating, when it's, again, an orchestrated plan, there is we didn't know we couldn't do that. And it is impacting high-level games like that, there needs to be no leniency. And I guess I'm just shocked that they have not done more. But the best they could do was say that she likely knew. You know what that is? That's lawyer jargon bull crap. Because if she tries to sue or something, well, you couldn't prove that I knew. All right, we're just going to say you likely were aware of it. And they just kicked her out. So we're off to a good start with the Olympics.
Yeah.
Opening ceremonies are when? It's got to be this afternoon, right?
I would think so.
Hang on. Paris opening ceremony time Eastern Standard. Oh, 1:30 this afternoon. 7:30 time in Paris. So here's a good reminder. They're 7 hours ahead of us. I'm sorry, 6 hours ahead of us.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. I think this is going to be a really fun watch for us here on the East Coast.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. I saw Snoop Dogg carrying the torch through and getting ready to go. What a jump from that. You know what I mean? Like Snoop Dogg, like all over the Olympics and NBC coverage of the Olympics. And by the way, I want to shout out a classmate of mine from Brunswick High School, Tim Bielek. He writes for Cleveland.com now. And Tim had a great article running through all of the Northeast Ohio Olympians. So there's quite a, now a lot of us probably all know Katie Moon as the friend of Big Play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Gold medalist, pole vault. Marcus Christopher is in BMX freestyle, and he is out of Hartville. This guy, St. Vincent St. Mary High School basketball,
like LeBron or something.
LeBron. Lee Kiefer in women's fencing, and she actually took the gold medal in the individual foil back in 2020. I'm betting on that.
What is a foil?
There's different things in fencing. There's different ways that you have to play it, which I know nothing about. Fencing, women. Okay, so here's the thing. There's EP, foil, and sabre. That's it.
Sure.
Foil. Who's our lady again? Lee Kiefer. She is second at 12-1. Come on, Lee. I'll put $5 wins me 17.
Okay.
In. Go get it. Well, bet 365. We love you guys. Get on board, please. We'd love to have you. I'm in. Oh, sorry. Other Northeast Ohio Olympians. Johnny Marshall, swimming, Akron Firestone. He's representing Great Britain. Morel McCain, women's boxing. Doesn't Cleveland turn out some pretty damn good boxers? Glenville High School alum. And now she is one of the most decorated female boxers in Cleveland history. So there you go. Of course, Katie Moon, women's pole vault, defending gold medalist there. And then there's some other ones like that went to, like Trevor Bassett's in the 400 hurdles. He went to Ashland. Molly Bredgen of rowing for Dayton. Corey Connors, the golfer, went to Kent State. Carson Foster, Cincinnati, Ohio, swimming, 200 individual medley, 400 individual medley. Quite a few. I just love it, man. I love sitting down watching. It's going to be a good time. All right, you want to go right to timeout because we're a little bit late on that?
Fine with me.
All right, let's do it. Let's go right to timeout. All right, we head on back to stay in history. It's just July, man, slipping away from us, but here we go. Head on back 4 years ago today, NFL Top 100. Myles Garrett came in at number 80 back in 2020. I feel pretty confident that I'm saying that he will never be that low ever again. Like, even in the down, like, twilight of his career, I don't think he'll ever be down at 80 again. He'll be in the top 10 this year. I saw Amari was already in it. And I think that's it. Did I miss anybody else of the NFL Top 100? Hang on. Let me check NFL.com. 60 through 51 were revealed yesterday. Please don't be a video. I don't want to watch a video. Just get... son of... I got to get signed back up for NFL Plus, too, by the way. All right. 60 was Raheem Mostert. Bobby Wagner, 59. Christian Wilkins, 58. Simmons, Stephon Diggs, Brian Burns, Zach Martin, Patrick Surtain, Keenan Allen. Those are in the 50. The 60s, Amari Cooper was 70. Cooper Kupp ahead of him. Brandon Ayuk ahead of him. Jordan Poyer. Man, did he turn in a good career, by the way.
He did.
Great career. I used to have Jordan Poyer's couch. Seriously, my wife and I moved into our house. I don't want to go down this path, but I guess I will anyway. So we moved into our house in West Park, and we redid the basement, and we needed a sectional. So we get on Facebook Marketplace, and we see this really nice sectional that's pretty cheap. So we message the guy, I go, we're in. I got a truck. My brother's got a truck. We'll come pick it up. So we go down to the flats, the apartments in the flats, and I meet this guy, and this apartment is barren. And I go, this is when somebody comes out of the closet and rot. And then the guy goes, oh, no, man. He goes, I'm Jordan Poyer's buddy. And Jordan Poyer just left the Browns. He literally left everything in this apartment and told me to sell it for what I could. So that's why the sectional was so cheap. So I was like, all right. So we load this thing up. There's a good chance that Rachel Bush was on that couch at one point.
Wow, you dirty dog.
I'm just saying. So that was in my basement. It's gone, though. We got rid of the couch. The couch is long gone.
God,
We got another one.
Beautiful.
She's pretty hot. So leave that for what it is. Nobody in the 70s for the Cleveland Browns. What? Oh, you're Googling Rachel Bush on the show? There you go. Nobody in the 80s. And let me check the 90s real quick here. Top players 100. So far, all we have is Amari Cooper. So at this point, you know Denzel's going to be up there, and you know Miles is going to be up there. Do you think Joel Bitonio is in the top 60?
He should be.
He should be. I think the injuries have a little factor in that, but we'll see how it plays out. This day, 2015, Baseball Hall of Fame. We need to get back to more classes like this. Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, and Craig Biggio all go to the Hall of Fame, with Johnson, Martinez, and Smoltz all first ballot Hall of Famers. Imagine that three, man. And there's a lot of videos. Somebody was posting this about Pedro, where we kind of forget, man, when he was in his prime, he might have been the best pitcher in history. And I'm always a Randy Johnson fan. Like, I think Johnson gets a little slept on, to be honest with you. But those guys all go in. Speaking of one guy that was pretty damn good, this day, 1992, Nolan Ryan struck out his 100th batter for his 23rd consecutive season.
Wow.
23 straight years of at least 100 strikeouts.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And still never won the Cy Young because he walked too many guys. You know, you think about the arm injuries that guys are facing now. And I always go back to an adage that Bob Feller said a long time ago. And they asked him, they go, you know, Bob, you threw 100 miles an hour. You know, you never had arm problems. And he goes, it's not because they're throwing too much. It's because they're not throwing enough. Now, I am understanding and sympathetic that they weren't throwing this junk. You know, they weren't, like, they had curveballs and stuff. But why is Nolan Ryan? Because he had a fastball. Randy Johnson would just throw it on your ass. Now, the thing about Randy Johnson was he was 6'11". So when other guys would throw the ball here, he's throwing the ball here, and gets on top of you. That's one of the things that they always say about Tristan McKenzie, by the way. They're like, what makes McKenzie so hard, or what should be when he's accurate? It's not that he's throwing hard, it's that he's letting it go here, and it gets on you really fast. But all these kids are throwing junk now, and they all need surgery in high school and stuff like that, but there'll never be another one like Nolan Ryan. Speaking of nobody like this, 1984, Pete Rose tied Ty Cobb with his 3,502nd single in baseball history. The guy had 3,500 singles, let alone home runs, doubles, and everything else. 3,500 singles for Pete Rose. This day, 1908, somebody I hope I never have to deal with, the FBI was founded. This day, 1908. If you had to pick a law enforcement branch, like, would you do FBI? Would you do CIA? Would you do sheriff? We're knee-deep in a True Detective right now, and that's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. I had
I'll go to the BAU.
What's that?
The Behavioral Analytics Unit or whatever.
Oh, that was that Mindhunter?
It's Criminal Minds, I think.
Criminal Minds, maybe. Yeah. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My father, or my brother-in-law's father, he was in the FBI for like 30 years. I think isn't that like kind of a cool job when you meet somebody and go, yeah, I was in the FBI for 30 years. Like, oh. And it's not always high-level type of stuff, but some interesting stuff there. Speaking of being established, when's the last time you put something in a mailbox?
A year?
Yeah. The U.S. Postal Service was established this day, 1775. Do you know who the first ever Postmaster General was?
Ben Franklin.
That is correct. Nice. I just put something in the mail like last week. We had to send a form into church. So that's the last time every single time my wife and I have to mail something, it's always, did we buy stamps? Do we even have stamps in the house? When you go back in the day when people would send bills in, you have to balance your checkbook. You have to send actual checks in. Look at us today. Very happy birthday goes out to former Cavalier, and I do hope he's doing well, Delonte West. I know that's a story that people keep picking up on with him. Hope he's doing well. Gavin Williams. I wish they would have got him a freaking win for his birthday yesterday. The always amazing Sandra Bullock celebrating a birthday today. Stanley Kubrick, Kate Beckinsale, also very attractive. Mick Jagger and Jason Statham, all celebrating birthdays today. All right, 2 movies and a television show for you today. We start, there's a movie and a TV show each this day 2019. You want the movie or the TV show first?
Let's get the TV show out of the way.
TV show out of the way. This is a streaming television show. Uber popular and very well gift due to a certain heroic character that's on this show.
What do you mean by very well gift?
His gif is a very popular one.
His gif?
His gif. Like, there's a moment that people use. You know what a gif?
Oh, gif.
Yeah.
I thought you said gift.
Oh, no, gif. Like,
Okay.
people use this on Twitter all the time.
Okay. 2019.
Yeah, I don't want to give you the write-up on it because it's just going to give it away.
GIF. You said it was. Did you say what service it was?
If you want it.
Is it Ted Lasso?
No, it's not Ted Lasso. It's on his 4 seasons are in the books. 5th season's on its way.
Oh.
What?
Is it a funny show?
I wouldn't say necessarily funny.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. 'Cause people always use those gifs.
No, what's that one?
I Think You Should Leave?
Oh, no, not that one. This is on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Oh. The Boys?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
The Boys are it. Because what's that guy's name? Homelander or something like that?
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
that guy?
Yeah.
Obviously, the series, it follows the eponymous, whatever, team of vigilantes as they combat superpowered individuals known as Soups who abuse their power for personal gain and work for a powerful company that ensures the general public views them as heroes. Carl Urban, Jack Quaid, Anthony Starr. He's the guy that plays Homelander, right?
Anthony Starr,
Yeah, there it is. I've heard good things. So they have a full, intended to be a feature-length film trilogy. The comic book series adaptation began in 2008 with the development. It was stuck in development hell before it debuted this day 2019.
Yeah, super popular.
Yeah, super popular, well known about it. So they're The Boys this day 2019. All right, a movie this day 2019. This was a very ensemble cast, and it was the retelling
2019
of a very famous incident, but had a different ending out on the West Coast.
Out on the West Coast.
There was I can't say much more than that because then it'll give away part of the movie name. Out on the West Coast,
Okay.
there was a very famous thing that happened back in the 70s. And this is the retelling of that story, but with a different ending.
And you said it's a star-studded cast?
Very star-studded cast. Very. Extremely. Set in 1969 in Los Angeles. That's not necessarily the name. The film follows I think it might lay it up here for you. I don't know. A fading actor and his stunt double as they navigate a rapidly changing film industry.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
The telling of the Manson family and how, but this time Sharon Tate survived.
Yeah.
But again, Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie in a Quentin Tarantino film.
My wife.
Margot Robbie. You're gonna have to pick between her and Paige Spiranek. I'm sorry.
Paige Spiranek. Nobody touches Margot Robbie.
Really?
Oh,
all
God,
right.
no.
Okay, fair enough.
You know how people like buy weird stuff on bathwater?
Don't stop that. We're
I'm
gonna
just
move
saying
on.
Margot
I got
Robbie's
another
the only
movie.
one I would do. Margot Robbie's the only one I would do that for.
Nope.
We all have that one you'd buy their
not
bathwater.
going there. We're not going to do that to you. Not here on the show. We move on. Final one here. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a great flick. Really good flick. Also, really well gift. You know,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite.
Love that. You abuse
I love
that.
any time that there's any former Cleveland Brown news. I love sending that.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Jabril Peppers just got
I know. I should send that out right now. Hang on. Stand by. Did Schefter send that out?
Yes.
You want to know where that started for me? was the kickers. I used to always send that out with the kickers, where I go, ah.
Yeah, you love that gif.
I do love that gif. Yep, that's it. All right, send it out. We have to be consistent here. All right, final one. Film this day 2000.
Oh, there's another one.
There's one more. Sorry.
Stop the music.
All good. This day 2002. This was the final film of a true trilogy surrounding a spy.
The Bourne ones?
No, they had more than 3.
There's more James Bonds than that.
There's a lot more than that. He is truly a parody of James Bond. That's where this all started.
So it's like a funny movie?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh.
Think of that era, maybe. Early 2000. The first one came out, I want to say they went 97, 2000, 2001.
Oh, Austin Powers?
Okay. You know what the third one is called?
Is that... Goldmember?
Goldmember is correct.
Okay, bet.
Because all he's doing is, well, obviously he plays Goldmember too in that one. But I think for that, all 3 of those movies still stand up to me. Like, you see all the changes with Dr. Evil. He becomes a lot goofier and all that. I will watch all 3. And I have all 3 on a Blu-ray set, like the completed series. And they're talking about bringing it back. For the love of God, please don't. And I appreciate Mike Myers because I think he shoots it down to like, nah, man, we're good. We made our money off of it. But I even like Goldmember. Like, because people, they say like, oh, by then it jumped the shark. I don't know, man. Goldmember's pretty funny because that's the one that got the most zany. That's the one that got the stupidest and the silliest of all of them. But I like all. I like all 3 of those ones. So Goldmember is correct. So there you go. The Boys, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Goldmember is all your answer. Well, speaking of the answer, there's only one when it came to our best heist movie.
Yeah, honestly, not surprising.
Not surprising, Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
The proper ordering of the Ocean's movies are 11, 13, 8, then 12. I never liked Ocean's 12. Not a big fan of it.
I think I've only seen 11.
Go watch 13. You don't even need to see 12. Well, no, you're fine. There's one character that comes from 12 into 13 that I can just tell you about after you watch it.
Okay.
Watch 13, though. You got Pacino in that one. Really solid. But yeah, Ocean's 11 for our best heist movie. They take it on down. Wasn't there another one that we were talking about we had to do for next week?
A bracket?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think I had one in mind. But I can't remember what it was. So we'll figure that out for next week. But well done. Ocean's 11 takes it on down. All right, gearing up for the Guardians tonight. You ready to go? We got to win something here. Guardians, Phillies. Guardians are a kind of big dog on this one. Plus 143 on the money line. Phillies are minus 170 on some books, which has jumped a lot because 80% of the public money is over on the side of the Phillies for tonight. Your total is set at an even 8. I've got some at 7.5. Let's run down. Let's get to our pitchers here. Ben Lively, 8-6, 3.5 ERA. In his last 3 starts, he's 0-2. He's went 5 1/3 in each of his last 3 starts, giving up 2 runs in his last 2 and 6 in a game that they actually won against Detroit. Here's the crappy thing. Ben Lively gave up 2 runs over 5 1/3 against the Padres and the Rays. He lost both of those games 2-0 and 2-1 on what would have been borderline quality starts. He's got 2, 7, and 4 strikeouts in his last 3 games. Let me Google this quick. Most strikeouts. Which team strikes out the most? I'm trying to see here where the Phillies rank. They're like 18th in baseball for strikeouts, so they're right up the middle. So I guess maybe give me just like 4 for Ben Lively tonight. You flip over for Sanchez. He gets to start tonight there for the Phillies. Christopher Sanchez. His last 3 starts, win and 2 losses. He went 5 2/3, 6 and 4 innings, giving up 2, 2, and 7 runs. He struck out 2, 5, and 3. So he's on an even 10 strikeouts over his last 3. With a 2.89 ERA, 7-5 on the year, scuffling just a little bit there for Sanchez. You flip it over for these teams the last 10 games out. Guardians are averaging 4.8 runs per game. The Phillies just an even 4. They're both averaging about 7 hits, and they're even on strikeouts. They both average about 8.6, 8.8 strikeouts over their last 10 games. So let's do this. Oh, let me get trends. That's what I was missing. The under is hit Guardians 8 out of their last 10 games. They're just 4-8 straight up in their last 12. 1-4 straight up their last 5 games on the road. And the tough thing is, man, I don't know about the Phillies. We're 4-2 straight up in their last 6 against the Phillies, but that's pretty historical. Phillies are just 2-5 straight up in their last 7 games. They're 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games at home, though. Do I ride the over in this game?
I think the over will hit.
Okay. I've got it at an even 8, and I hate even.
I can see the Phillies scoring 8 themselves.
Okay, I don't do that. Should I boost it to 8.5? I want the hook, man. I hate even. All right, I'm not going to do that. All right, total. What if I just go down to 7.5? Let's go over 7.5 for the game. Here, let's build our parlay on them. All right, over 7.5. Ben Lively, 5 strikeouts. Again, the Phillies don't strike out a lot. And in his last 3 starts, Lively's had 2, 7, and 4. You just want to go 4?
Yeah, go 4.
All right, go 4. Parlay. All right, so I'm already to 165. 1 hit in this game. Quan, I mean, again.
Yeah.
Quan, I'm up to 240. Do you want to add one more? Harper, Castellanos, Fry.
Not Fry.
Money line. I kind of want to stay away from the money line, man. All right.
Let's do Bohm.
Alec Bohm. That gets me to plus 325.
There you go.
325.
It's respectable.
I'll add that. I'll boost it on up. All right. I'm in. That'll be our parlay for tonight. Go get it, guards. Friday, that's it. I think we're good for today.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. We'll rejoin everybody next week. Enjoy the hell out of the weekend. Olympics starting, Guardians, and we'll have plenty to talk about next week right here, 9 to 11 as always. Appreciate your support. Follow on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. It's all there. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.